get me, arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? Raid my house, take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me. To address what you said about Trump, I agree with you.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, being with Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof badass.
Is President Trump or the administration, do they have any plans to intervene in the extradition process for the Tate brothers?
All right, so picture this. It's Saturday, July 19th. Miami. Sun's out, humidity is disgusting, but that's just Florida. Somewhere in the city, Andrew Tate is having a pretty good day. He's back on American soil. He's been back for months, actually, ever since Romanian authorities, and we're gonna get into that, because the whole Romania situation is its own circus. Let him and Tristan walk. They were supposed to be under criminal investigation for human trafficking and rape, but somehow, in early 2025, Romania just let them leave. Flew straight to Florida. And ever since landing, Andrew's been doing what Andrew always does. Posting videos, showing off cars, talking about how untouchable he is. He's been at Mar-a-Lago, he's posed for photos with Donald Trump Jr. He's built this entire brand around the idea that the rules don't apply to men like him. And honestly, for a while there, it looked like he might be right. But here's the thing about the legal system. It moves slow. Painfully slow. Years slow. But when it finally catches up to you, it doesn't knock politely. On Saturday morning, July 19th, Andrew and Tristan Tate found out what that feels like. U.S. Marshals showed up. Not local police. Not some paperwork mix-up. Federal Marshals. Extradition warrants in hand. Handcuffs, the whole thing. And the reason they were there? The United Kingdom had just authorized 38 new charges against the brothers, bringing the total across all jurisdictions to 59. 59! That's not a typo. Andrew alone faces 42, including 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, and then a charge that, and I need you to really sit with this one, 19 counts related to indecent images of a child, and what prosecutors are calling extreme pornography. Tristan is looking at 17 charges of his own. The man who spent a decade building an empire by telling young men that women are property, that empathy is weakness, that power means never having to answer for anything, that man just got arrested by the federal government of the country he bragged about owning. And the brand new court documents that were unsealed on Monday, they paint a picture that's genuinely sickening. Not controversial sickening, not cancel culture sickening, the kind of sickening where you have to stop reading for a second and just sit there. Today, I'm going to walk you through everything. The arrest, the newly released federal complaint, exactly what those 59 charges allege, why the political hit defense is falling apart in real time, and what actually happens next. Because here's what I think after going through all of this. This time is different. This time, there might not be an escape hatch. Welcome to Pop Sip. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. Okay, so let me set this up properly, because you need the timeline to really understand why this moment landed the way it did. The Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan, grew up in Luton, England. Dual citizens, UK and US. Andrew was a kickboxer, and to be fair, a genuinely good one. 4-time world champion across 2 weight classes. Whatever you think of him now, the athletic resume is real. He tried reality TV for a bit, appeared on Big Brother UK back in 2016, got kicked off the show after a video surfaced of him hitting a woman with a belt. And I bring this up not to pile on, but because it's a pattern that goes back over a decade. The belt, the violence, the total refusal to see anything wrong with it. We're gonna come back to that. After reality TV spit him out, Andrew pivoted. Hard. He and Tristan built this entire online ecosystem. Hustlers University, the War Room, a pyramid of courses and memberships all selling the same message. Masculinity equals domination. Women are assets. Empathy is for suckers. Money and power are the only scoreboard that matters. And it exploded. Genuinely exploded. hundreds of millions of views across platforms, millions of followers. Young men, a lot of them teenagers, eating this stuff up. The private jet, the Bugattis, the cigars. Andrew didn't just sell a philosophy, he sold a fantasy. And he sold it incredibly well. But behind the fantasy, prosecutors say, was something much darker. In December 2022, Romanian authorities raided the Tate compound outside Bucharest. The allegations were severe: human trafficking, rape, forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. The brothers were arrested, along with 2 female associates. What followed was months of legal back and forth. House arrest, then released, then re-arrested, then released again. The Romanian case is still active. It never went away. But here's where things get strange, and honestly, suspicious. In early 2025, despite an active criminal investigation, and despite UK authorities pushing for extradition, Romanian courts allowed the brothers to leave the country. They got on a plane and flew to Florida. Now, I'm not going to speculate about why Romania let them go. There are theories: political pressure, corruption, the Tate brothers' connections. But whatever the reason, they landed in America and immediately acted like the whole thing was behind them. Andrew was posting from Miami like he'd just gotten back from vacation. The flexing never stopped. But what they apparently didn't know, or chose to ignore, is that Bedfordshire police in the UK had been quietly building a separate case the entire time. 4 additional victims had come forward in England. Witness statements, electronic messages, photographs. The Crown Prosecution Service spent months going through it all. And when they were done, they didn't hesitate. On July 19th, acting on extradition warrants issued by Westminster Magistrates Court in London, U.S. Marshals arrested both brothers in Florida. Deputy Chief Emily Williams of the U.S. Marshals Service put out a statement confirming the arrests. The language was dry, bureaucratic, pursuant to extradition proceedings. But translated into plain English, what it means is, the United Kingdom has formally requested that the United States hand these 2 men over so they can stand trial for what prosecutors are calling systematic sexual violence spanning 7 years. The brothers are currently in federal custody. Their first court appearance was Monday, July 21st. And that's when the really disturbing stuff started coming out. So Monday morning, the Tate brothers appear in Miami federal court. Extradition hearing, standard procedure. The judge explains the charges, asks if they understand, sets the schedule for the actual extradition arguments. But the real story on Monday wasn't what happened in the courtroom. It was what got unsealed. The federal complaint, the formal document outlining exactly what the UK is charging them with, became public. And I read through this thing. Multiple times, actually. Because the first time through, I kept thinking I must be missing context. Maybe there's something that makes this less horrifying than it sounds. There isn't. Let me walk you through what prosecutors have laid out. Against Andrew Tate specifically, the complaint details 2 victims. These are 2 of the 4 new women who came forward in the UK. The first woman worked in what the complaint calls the webcam business. This was back around 2015. According to the filing, Andrew showed up at her home in Bedford, England. They had some kind of business arrangement. She worked for the webcam operation he was allegedly running. But during one of these visits, prosecutors say, things turned violent. He put her in a chokehold. Not once, multiple times. Each time, she lost consciousness. And according to the complaint, while she was unconscious, completely unable to consent, completely unable to defend herself, he raped her. This wasn't a one-time thing. The filing alleges it happened repeatedly over multiple encounters. I want you to sit with that for a second, because the internet moves so fast that we tend to skim past details like this. A woman, unconscious from being choked, and he continued. Multiple times, multiple visits. The second victim met Andrew on a dating app in 2014. They had one consensual sexual encounter. That's not what the charges are about. Nobody is criminalizing consensual sex. The charges are about a separate encounter, after the first one, where prosecutors say Andrew pinned her down, cut off her breathing, and refused to stop. Her exact words, quoted in the complaint, she was afraid he would not stop and was going to kill her. She thought she was going to die. In that room, in that moment, she genuinely believed Andrew Tate was going to kill her. And that brings Andrew's charges to 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, 3 counts of assault, and then, and this is the part where even I had to stop and reread, 19 counts relating to indecent images of a child and what UK law terms extreme pornography. Now, American viewers should understand something about UK law here. Indecent images of a child is a specific, gravely serious charge. It's not an ambiguous category. It's not a gray area. And 19 counts of it means prosecutors aren't talking about one image or one incident. They're alleging a pattern. Then there's Tristan. Tristan's charges center largely on one woman, someone he was in a long-term relationship with between 2012 and 2013. According to the federal complaint, he repeatedly raped her over the course of their relationship. He choked her unconscious. He hit her with a belt, hard enough to leave what the documents describe as serious bruising and welts across her body. On at least one occasion, he struck her in the face, leaving her with a black eye. Tristan faces 2 counts of rape, 1 count of sexual assault, and 3 counts of facilitating travel for exploitation, which, in plain English, means prosecutors believe he helped arrange situations where women could be sexually exploited. Here's the thing I can't stop thinking about. 7 women. Alleged abuse spanning from 2010 to 2017. 7 years. And the evidence, according to Bedfordshire Police, isn't just testimony. They're saying they have witness statements from people who saw the aftermath, electronic messages, photographs that corroborate the physical injuries described in the complaint. This isn't a he said, she said situation. This is 7 separate women across multiple years with what prosecutors describe as a mountain of supporting evidence. And the Tate brothers' response to all of this? Their lawyer, Joseph McBride, put out a statement calling the whole thing a political hit. His exact words were, "America does not do Britain's political dirty work." We're going to talk about that defense strategy next, because it's worth understanding, not because it's convincing, but because of what it reveals about how cornered they actually are. So here's the defense, laid out as clearly as I can put it. The Tate brothers have spent the last few years cultivating very specific political relationships. Andrew's been to Mar-a-Lago multiple times. He's posed for photos with Donald Trump Jr. He's embedded himself in the Trump orbit. Not subtly, not quietly, but openly and strategically. And in some ways, the strategy made sense. The Tate brand, hyper-masculine, anti-establishment, rules don't apply to alphas, maps almost perfectly onto a certain segment of the Trump coalition. During the 2024 election, Andrew's content was actively weaponized to turn out young male voters. Millions of them. So the bet was simple. Get close to power, and power protects you. When the legal wall started closing in, Romania, then the UK, the escape plan was always the United States. Friendly territory, friendly administration, connections. And for a few days after the arrest, it looked like it might actually work. McBride and the legal team started pushing immediately. Public statements, media appearances. They urged the Trump administration to step in, block the extradition, make this go away the way Romania mysteriously made things go away in 2025. But here's what they clearly didn't expect. On Wednesday, July 23rd, so 4 days after the arrest, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was speaking from the Philippines. A reporter asked him directly, would the State Department intervene to stop the Tate brothers' extradition to the UK? Rubio didn't dance around it, didn't give a politician's non-answer. His response was, quote, "There's no role for us to play at this moment, or maybe ever, in that regard." Or maybe ever. That's the Secretary of State saying the door isn't just closed, it was never open. Then Thursday, White House press briefing. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, takes a question about whether President Trump would block the extradition. Her answer was literally one word. No. Just no. Not, we're monitoring the situation and believe in due process. Not, the president is reviewing his options. Not even a sentence. One word. And in political communications, a one-word answer to a question like that is a message. It means, we are not touching this. We want zero association with this. The Tate name is radioactive. And honestly, it makes sense. Not the political calculation. I don't care about that. What I mean is, even if the administration wanted to help, what exactly are they supposed to do here? The charges include indecent images of a child. 19 counts. Even the most cynical political operator in Washington understands that publicly shielding someone facing those charges is career suicide. There's no constituency for protecting men accused of possessing child sexual abuse material. None. Not among Republicans, not among Democrats, not anywhere. The political hit narrative falls apart the moment you look at what's actually in the complaint. You can spin controversial influencer targeted for his views. You can spin toxic masculinity guru gets me too'd. The Tate brothers' audience has been primed for years to dismiss those narratives. But 19 counts related to child sexual abuse material? That's not a narrative you can spin. That's not a battle you can win in the court of public opinion. And apparently, based on the White House's one-word answer, it's not a battle anyone in power wants to fight on their behalf either. Now, I want to talk about Romania, because you can't understand where we are now without understanding what happened there. And honestly, the Romania chapter raises some questions that still haven't been answered. December 2022. Romanian police, DIICOT, which is their organized crime and terrorism unit, raid the Tate compound outside Bucharest. This is a major operation. They've been investigating for months. The brothers are arrested, along with 2 female associates, Georgiana Nagel and Luana Radu. The indictment was serious. Human trafficking, rape, forming an organized criminal group to sexually exploit women. The Romanian case alleged that the Tate brothers used the lover boy method, a well-documented trafficking tactic where victims are coerced into sexual exploitation under the guise of a romantic relationship. They spent 3 months in detention, then house arrest, then released pending trial, then rearrested, then released again. It was confusing to follow, even if you were paying close attention. The case seemed to stall, then restart, then stall again. Appeals, procedural delays. The Romanian legal system, which is not exactly known for efficiency even under normal circumstances, was grinding along at its own pace. Then, in early 2025, the bombshell. Romanian authorities allowed the brothers to leave the country. Now, let me be clear. The Romanian case is still open. They haven't been acquitted. The charges haven't been dropped. They were simply permitted to travel. And the destination they chose was Florida. Why did Romania let them go? I don't have a definitive answer, and anyone who tells you they do is probably speculating. What we know is that there were rumors of political pressure. The Tate brothers had by that point become internationally famous. Their legal team was aggressive, and Romania's justice system has long faced criticism, including from the European Union, over political interference and corruption. Was a deal made? Was there external pressure? I can't confirm any of that, and I'm not going to pretend I can. What I can tell you is that letting suspects in an active human trafficking investigation leave your jurisdiction is unusual, especially when another country, the UK, is actively seeking their extradition. And here's the kicker: the Florida investigation. In March 2025, shortly after the brothers settled in Florida, the state of Florida opened its own criminal investigation into the Tates. That case is still active. Combined with the Romanian investigation, the UK charges, and the federal extradition proceedings, they're now facing legal pressure from 3 separate jurisdictions, in 2 different continents, simultaneously. When your legal strategy requires winning in 3 different countries at the same time, you're not playing chess anymore. You're just trying to survive. So, where does this actually go? Let me walk you through the most likely timeline, because I think a lot of people assume arrested means going to prison tomorrow, and that's not how extradition works. Right now, the brothers are in federal custody in the Southern District of Florida. They've had their initial court appearance. The next step is the extradition hearing itself, where a federal judge will determine whether the UK's request meets the legal standards under the US-UK extradition treaty. Their lawyers have already signaled they'll fight it, and they can. Extradition proceedings can take months. There are multiple levels of appeal available. The defense can argue that the charges are politically motivated. We've already seen them laying the groundwork for that. They can challenge the sufficiency of the evidence. They can drag this out. But here's what they can't do. They can't make the charges disappear. The Crown Prosecution Service in the UK doesn't authorize 59 charges on a hunch. They don't put together an extradition request that involves coordinating with the US Marshal Service, the State Department, and federal courts on a whim. When a prosecutor in the UK signs off on something this big, it means they've reviewed the evidence and they believe, to the standard required, that there's a reasonable prospect of conviction. And the Assistant Chief Constable of Bedfordshire Police, Karina Thomas, put out a statement that I want to read to you because the language is unusually direct for a British police official. She said, "There is no place for male violence against women and girls, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims." When a senior police officer uses language that strong in an official statement, male violence against women and girls, not alleged misconduct or pending legal matters, they are sending a message. They have the evidence, they are confident, and they are not backing down. So the most realistic scenario, the extradition proceeds. Eventually, they're sent to the UK, they stand trial, and if convicted on the full set of charges, we're not talking about months, we're talking about decades. The indecent images charges against Andrew alone, 19 counts, carry severe penalties under UK law. Combined with 7 rape counts and the trafficking charges, even a partial conviction could mean he never sees freedom again. And here's the thing I keep coming back to, the part that feels different this time. When Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania in 2022, there was a wave of attention, and then the story faded. People moved on. The legal process was slow, the updates were confusing, and the internet's attention span is famously short. It felt like maybe, he'd wriggle out of it again. This time, the charges are more serious, the documentation is more detailed, the victims are more numerous, and the political protection he spent years building just evaporated in a single-word answer from a White House podium. No, I think the Tate brothers genuinely believed they were untouchable. I think they bought their own mythology, that charisma, money, and political connections could outrun consequences forever. And for a while, watching from the outside, it was hard to argue with the results, but consequences don't care about your follower count. They don't care about your Bugatti or your private jet or your photos at Mar-a-Lago. They move at their own speed, and when they finally arrive, they arrive all at once. 7 women, 59 charges, 3 countries. 2 brothers who are about to find out that the bill always comes due. I'll be tracking this story as it develops. The extradition hearings, the UK trial if it gets there, the Romanian case, and the Florida investigation. This isn't a one-and-done news cycle. This is going to unfold over months, maybe years, and we'll be here covering it. Before I go, I genuinely want to hear from you on this one. Not just Tate bad or Tate good. I'm asking a real question. Do you think the Tate brothers actually face prison time, or do you think they find another way out? Because I've laid out why I think this time is different. But I've been wrong before. The legal system surprises people. Maybe their lawyers pull something off. Maybe Romania's decision to let them go in 2025 turns out to be more significant than it looks. I don't know. What I do know is that the evidence in those court documents is devastating. And the White House, the one institution that could have potentially intervened, just publicly washed its hands of them. Drop your take in the comments. I read them, and honestly, some of the best conversations on this channel happen down there. If this kind of breakdown is your thing, the real stories behind the headlines, the details most channels skip, the context that makes it all make sense, subscribe to PopSip. We post every week. Celebrity scandals, influencer downfalls, internet drama, all of it. No fluff, no gossip for the sake of gossip. Just the story, told properly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.